Okay, class, just like we had discussed when we were on campus, face-to-face, now, the second half of this course, you will be online. So I want to give you a little bit of an overview of what to expect for the first online module, which is Module 5, Week 5. In this module, we are going to look at some perspectives on ancient Greece. As you recall, in the first part of the course, we talked about some Greek philosophy, a little bit of discussion about the history of Greece, and what we really want to look at, most importantly, in this module, is the relationship between religion and science, which is an age-old debate. How do they conflict? How do they get along? Are they completely divorced? Are they in non-overlapping kind of schools of thought where they don't really come in contact with each other? All of those questions are addressed in your first reading for this module, which is the preface, the introduction, and chapter 1 to John Holt's Science and Religion, From Conflict to Conversation. He's a scholar of the history of science and religion, and also a theologian, but he addresses this relationship, and he's not the only one who does this. There are many there's many other scholars who speak on this topic, write on this topic, and they tend to be a little more favorable of the idea that the two camps can get along to some extent, that they're not in this total opposition, this all-out war, although there is a valid argument that says the two are mutually exclusive, that they're in some state of war. But he'll talk about that in the reading. So read that selection from Science and Religion, From Conflict to Conversation, which will give you kind of a lens to view the film that we're going to watch, called Agora, which is about the life of Hypatia. And Hypatia was probably one of the first well-documented female philosophers, early scientist even, you could say. But she is sometimes heralded as like the first science martyr, that she was destroyed by Christian thinking and religious thought, which that's the way the film basically is going to portray it. Now, in order to kind of understand the historical accuracies and inaccuracies, you're going to read a third selection called Remembering and Misremembering Hypatia, The Lessons of Agora by Donald W. Viney. So all of that together, Holt's position on the relationship of science and religion, and he's going to give you 4 kind of models for how the two exist historically. You're going to use that to kind of watch the film Agora, and then with a critical lens, sort of go back and reevaluate what you saw in the film based on what's considered misremembering Hypatia. And all of that will culminate into a discussion. So after reading Holt, the selection from Science and Religion by John Holt, I think that's how you say his name. I've heard it pronounced other ways, but we'll say Holt. So John Holt, read that, watch the film, and then read the article by Viney, then answer the following. Out of the 4 relationships between religion and science that Holt mentions, what relationship do you think the film Agora tries to portray or represent? Give specific examples from the film to support your answer. Quote from Holt where needed. Then reflect on the historical accuracy of the film Agora. Do you think the film is historically accurate, and do you think historical representation has been altered to achieve a particular result? According to Viney, what examples in the film impact how we remember Hypatia? What impact does this have on history? So quote from Viney, where appropriate. Your initial post must be 300 words. and must include direct quotes from the readings and the film. You must also follow up with 2 other classmates in 2 separate posts, and those posts have to be at least 150 words. And so I want to encourage you in all your discussions, don't just be overly agreeable. Be critical. Engage what your peer says. Don't use generalities and be effusive. What it means to be effusive is if you just say, "Great post, good job." Well, it doesn't really say anything. That's just kind of useless. It's not really helpful at all. You want to say, when you said fill in the blank, that was, I agree with that or I disagree with that, and here's why, and here's how I would present it, So just don't be, shallow in your response post. And then you will submit a film review. This is your opportunity to sort of be the movie critic, and I've included the movie review guide, which is going to give you the structure for how to write this film review. And as you'll see in the guide, there's a particular format that I'm looking for, the introduction and specific parts and a conclusion. So make sure you include all of those parts in your film review, and you will submit that on Schoology. So this is your overview / introduction to Module 5, Week 5, Perspectives on Ancient Greece, Science versus Religion.